For the second year in a row, the final game of the regular season will determine the NFC East. This year, it's the Cowboys versus the Redskins in Washington, and that is the Sunday night game of the week. We're going to break it down with senior editor Eric Edholm, who covers the NFC East. And Eric, the Redskins, they win, they're in. The Cowboys, they win, they're in. The Redskins could still kind of back in. A lot of things got to happen, but pretty much, in simple terms, winning this game goes to the playoffs. That's what we know. They'll win the division. These teams met on Thanksgiving, and Robert Griffin III put on a show, especially in that second quarter, just opened the game up and had a great day. And obviously, the Cowboys need to find a way to stop him. What do they have to do differently than on Thanksgiving to slow him down?
And what do they do differently than they did last week, which is pressure the quarterback? They didn't have it last week. DeMarcus Merritt-Ware has an elbow injury. He missed a good chunk of the second half, only came back for one play. And without him on the field, they didn't have a pass rush. They weren't getting it from Anthony Spencer, who's had a great season, but he was invisible in that game. The rest of the defense was as well. This is a Rob Ryan defense has been spotty. At times they've been excellent. They've had games where the secondary is dominated, where the front seven has made tremendous plays, but there have been patches of the season where they've looked really, really shaky. I think that's going to be trouble in the sense that probably got to play zone. They're worried about Robert Griffin. Even with the ankle, the knee, I should say, his mobility limited, I still think they have to play a lot of zone defense. Not something Rob Ryan typically wants to do.
You would think coming into this game on paper, you got Brandon Carr and Morris Claiborne on one side. Pierre Garçon's been great.
Yep.
Santana Moss had a nice season. But you'd think the Cowboys corners would have an edge in that. But as you mentioned, if it's zone defense and with Griffin running around, it kind of takes it out of the equation.
And it takes it down to a safety play as well. And I don't trust either team's safety, to be completely honest. And I think it might come down to a blown coverage or two deep down the field, whether it's missed tackles, taking bad angles to the ball, dropping potential interceptions, things like that. I really think the safety play on both sides leaves something to be desired.
Now, Griffin has been the star for the Redskins, but for the Cowboys, it's been Dez Bryant. All the drama with him has kind of subsided, and he's put up huge numbers this year, especially in the second half of the season. He had 2 touchdowns in that game on Thanksgiving. The Redskins, not known for having a great secondary, they're going to have to find a way to do something that really no team has done this year, and that's corral Dez Bryant.
Yeah, Josh Wilson did a pretty good job on him in the first half, but the safety play left something to be desired. I thought Manu Williams played a poor game. DeJon Gomes did not play well, did not give that assistance. And then Wilson started struggling a little bit. He started taking some chances. He's the only guy who can keep up with Bryant foot speed-wise. I don't think D'Angelo Hall has a chance. The only way Hall can do it is by getting into Bryant's head and trying to slap his helmet and do all this stuff, talking to him, inciting him a little bit. But Bryant's been warned by his coaches this week. They've said, don't let him bother you. Don't listen to him. Just ignore him and walk off the field. So the Redskins have to maybe pull out some tricks to get into Bryant's head a little bit.
A potential X factor in this game, Eric, could be the running games for both teams. So much focus on both sides of the ball is going to be slowing down each team's passing attack. But you got 2 very good young running backs, DeMarco Murray for Dallas, Alfred Morris for Washington. Is there a chance that either of those guys could play a role and maybe help decide the game for their teams?
Well, Murray needs a big game. It's 2 straight weeks with a fumble, and he just hasn't been himself. Now the offensive line has contributed to it. Plus, they've been so pass heavy, and Romo's been so great that I think they've wanted to slant in that direction. But they're a better offense when he's doing well, and they're dynamic on both sides of the ball. So I think DeMarco Murray's got to come into this motivated and ready to perform. Redskins' run defense has been pretty good. On the other side, Alfred Morris has been a revelation. I'm shocked he didn't make the Pro Bowl. We'll see if he ends up there eventually as a replacement. He's the power runner that I think the Cowboys have had trouble stopping. Now they're down their 3rd, 4th, and 5th inside linebackers of the season.
Eric, these teams very, very well. This used to be, the past couple years, has been the Giants and Eagles. The Cowboys back into it. The Redskins back in there for the first time in a long time. Who do you see winning this game?
Well, as you said, it's been since 1999 since the Redskins won the division. The Cowboys have been in this situation before, not just last year, but the chance to control their own fate, win the division several times in the last few years, and they haven't done it. I think they come up and play strong in the first quarter, maybe get a lead. Redskins find that magic touch. I don't know where it comes from sometimes, but RG3 and that Redskins team come out with a victory, maybe a little bit ugly, and they win the NFC East.
I think the Cowboys are the more talented team when it comes to these 2 teams, but a lot of times this year, the Cowboys have been the more talented team in the matchup and haven't lived up to it. I agree with you. There's something going on with that Redskins team, the hottest team in terms of win streaks in the entire NFC. They have the home field advantage. They can finally win the division for the first time since '99. I'm jumping on the RG3 bandwagon. I'm also going to go with the Redskins. That's our Sunday night preview for this game of the week between the Redskins and the Cowboys. For all our analysis of Week 17, be sure to head to our website at ProFootballWeekly.com.